It is day 7. We are heading out. It is 5:26 a.m. It is 50 degrees. I did want to get started earlier, but like I said, it is 50 degrees, and I did not pack 47 degrees. I did not pack my winter riding gear. I am doubled up on pants today for a double cushion back there, as suggested by my biking buddy, Rob. I'm going to try that out today. So body check. I woke up and hands are feeling good, wrists are feeling good, everything's feeling good. But I also woke up and hello, I am a woman. So that's going on this week. So as I say, every day is a new day, and there are adjustments all day, every day, because I am entering, routes that I have not ever seen before. However, yesterday I had some experience on I-40, and I will be on I-40 a whole lot today. So I am sitting in my God confidence and going to go out there and do my best. So have a wonderful day. I'm going to do my best today. I have a lot of interstate riding and climbing to do today, and girl power. I'm going to push through all that I can do today. So have a great day. Remember, you are loved and you deserve respect. Be that, give that, receive that. And if you don't know your human rights yet, get out there, learn them, sustain them, and have a wonderful day. Let's make this world a better place. Love you. Bye.
Right. Well, welcome to day 7. All right, Tara. So tell us, how did day 7 go for you?
So day 7 started off even more chillier than the day before. When we got the bike off the car, there was a temperature sign there, and it said 42 degrees. So yeah. So a little chillier than the day before, and more chillier than I had expected. And so that was that. But eventually it warmed up, and we rode today. We rode a lot on Interstate 40, which I've become more comfortable. I know yesterday I said my nerves were rattled, and that was taxing. And today I felt more confident on I-40. So we became friends. But I also want...
Well, the more you do something, the more you get comfortable with it, because now it's like, and another truck.
Absolutely. So, and then it was like more reading of the map. There was one thing that I did a little bit different than the map, which basically I stayed on I-40 a little bit longer than the map, because I was like, I'm not going to bounce off to bounce back. Just, making adjustments that are, that feel best in the moment. But then towards the end, I found myself wanting to get to a certain destination. But at the same time, I felt myself there and not present. And I was pushing. And I was like, here you go again. Is it about you? I wake up every day and want, say, use me. And it was like, are you being used? Or are you trying to do it? So I had that little chit chat with myself. And then I was like, that's it. We're pulling it over and it's a wrap, So less of me, more of him.
Mm-hmm. So it started out, yeah. And so it started out 42, you said?
Mm-hmm. Yes, 42.
How fast is it ramping up? Yeah, so how fast is it ramping up, and how hot does it get?
So it was a little before 6 o'clock where it was 42 degrees. And I want to say before 8 o'clock, it's already 70 degrees. So it does get warm rather quickly. So then around a little before noontime is when I shut it down, and it was in the upper 80s. And even like my voice was crappy when I got done. I was like, Mom, I got to cut it out. And then she's like, oh, we might need to get cough drops, because you could hear it in my voice too, just the dryness and riding on the highway with all those cars. I mean, one of the cars was like super old car, and I'm like, what? I know I'm not supposed to smell whatever I'm smelling. Like, breathe this way, breathe through you. Like, I'm trying to like something. So
you're like, that's real pollution.
Like, is it on my face? Like, it was just like, it was.
So I have a bunch of questions coming out of that. So one, I can only imagine the end of the day, like first thing, like what in my mind, the first thing I would have to do is shower, right? Like I got to get all of it off of me. So because this question came in from one of the listeners, like they were like, "But what is she doing all day? Like how long is she on the bike and all that stuff?" So like tell folks like just a little bit about the day, because your day is much longer than just being on the bike.
Right. So my day starts off, we're packing the van. So before I even get on the bike, we have to pack the van for the day. So that requires, some time. So I'm on the bike. I've been on the bike for anywhere between 4 and I think the most I've got is a little like maybe 5.5 hours just riding time. But in between that, I have to make sure I eat. So I have to stop and eat. So that requires time throughout the riding. So we're riding now that we switched to the daytime. We're out there from 6 to noon. And I get about 4 to 5 hours of actual riding time. And like I said, those last times are figuring out which direction I need to go, make sure I'm going in the right direction, stopping and making sure I go to the bathroom and make sure I eat. And then at the end of when I decide that, I've given my best, we're going to stop right here and we'll reset tomorrow. When we come back, we have to unpack the car. I need to shower. Usually the number one thing is showering and figuring out what we need for the next day, where we're staying the next day. Today on the to-do list was my nails, because my producer over here was like, I cannot look at those nails anymore. So that got incorporated today. And then we try to...
Well, we weren't saying that they needed to be done. We were just suggesting that when you have some downtime, a little self-care along the way goes a long way here. And it was like...
You were like, I don't know what's going on over there.
Yeah. So, but it looks good, a little bit of self-care. And then, so as you figure out all that kind of stuff, when do you actually try to get rest?
And sometimes, like the other day when we came back, as soon as I showered, I needed to go to sleep. I mean, the climbing, the elevation, my nerves, I actually knocked out and got a nap right off the bat. Also, I need to, in that downtime is making sure I have a full meal. So I have at least one full meal between, after my ride and before I go to bed. So I'm not able to have two full meals. Like I can't have a lunch at noon and dinner. I'm having one decent sized meal and, snacking to make sure I get my calories in. And then I try to, shut eye somewhere between 7 and 8 o'clock. Because then we're back up at 4 again, rearranging, packing, making sure everything was charged correctly. Because again, even though I'm doing more daylight, there still needs to be lights on my bike. Because on the highways here, because it's so hot, there's like, I don't know what you call it. I know there's a word for it, but it looks kind of like you can't see that far because it's so hot. So you have to have your headlights on. So you're seen. So I have to make sure my lights are charged even though I'm riding in the daytime. So there's a lot of little stuff.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And every day is definitely a new day because of not only physically where you're at and what the road may look like, but also you have to take into account the road ahead. So I know in the next couple days here, you're going to have a little bit of a stretch in front of you. So today you had to go get the bike checked.
Yeah, so I also had to incorporate that because I got the flat tire a couple of days ago and I did the changing again. That was my first time ever getting that. So
and we were all here for the flat tire incident. So you can go back and check that one out if you're wondering what the incident was.
I just wanted to make sure before we go in, what you mean by this stretch, there's a stretch where it says on the map, there's 117 miles of nothingness, no service, no nothing. So I wanted to make sure what I did to the bike was correct because I did hear some squeaking while I was riding. I want to make sure my chain had, correct amount of oil on it and to also be shown exactly to make sure how I can clean it when, just talking like bike stuff. Like I ride my bike, but kind of like my car. I have a car and I know when to take it in for an oil change and I know to gas it, but I couldn't do any of those. Like even, I can pump my tires, same thing translates to my bike. I know the minimum, So I went in and I asked a ton of questions. They checked it out. And I also asked them to tilt my seat just to help me with, sitting in the saddle, just give it a little different sitting. And yeah. And also I wore 2 pairs of pants today to help with sitting in the seat. And that was awesome. So just bike stuff. So that was incorporated in this downtime too.
Mm-hmm. But that's a good example, though, that every day is a new day. But, it all depends on, so many factors, as we've been saying since the beginning, that, you prepare, you do all you can to train and all that stuff. But everything that you're seeing right now is the first time you're seeing it. And even though you can look at the maps and try to figure it, not until, like we keep saying, IRL, not until you see it in real life, do you really know how that's going to show up for you. And also the weather, right? Like the weather just, you can't prepare for everything. You just can't. So having that, not only the focus and the discipline of when you're getting up and being on the bike, but also having that built-in extended time, because you have to make all these adjustments. So you're not just, somebody had asked me like, oh, she's going all the way across the country, and is she ever getting off the bike? And I was thinking to myself like, oh, I didn't like I'm so close to you in all the journeys that you've had that yes, if you guys have been following since the beginning, mission 1 was 24 hours where she did not stop. She did 100 miles running from Albany, New York, back to Beacon, New York. And then with the bike, even though you had the break in between, the bike mission 2, which was, again, for folks who don't know, Niagara Falls back to Beacon, New York, you had an overnight in between that. But if folks weren't close enough, they probably thought, because you did it so fast, that oh yeah, she just keeps going and going.
I know.
We always stopped, and her mom just gives her another fuel.
We stopped, slept for 4 hours, and we're back on the road. So it, you could think that.
Yeah, totally. So I was like, oh, you know what? We're going to spend an episode here with her to say what is happening throughout the day, just so that folks understand the little bit of the behind the scenes take here in terms of how you're getting across the country, in this journey of yours that you're taking. So as you look to the next couple of days, and I know we're staying in the moment here, how are you feel? How do you feel though? Do you feel like you're hitting this flow? Do you feel like you're, what's your thoughts there?
I would say in one of the quotes that I sent out this morning, just now, and whatever you just brought up, this quote was coming to me, and it goes, destroy negative thoughts when they first appear. This is when they're the weakest. And throughout this journey, I feel like early on I had a lot of doubt in what I had put together and how it was playing out and stuff like that. And so I think I'm getting to a place where the doubt does come, but I'm able to pray it out, pray it away, change it, and say, just focus on, like you said, finding that flow and just moving forward and making my way home. Even today I was on the bike, excuse me, and my kids are calling. So I'm not just on the bike trying to make it home. I'm still a mom out here. So my kids are calling me about their dentist appointments, and I'm riding and I'm fixing and trying to do that as well. So I'm not just riding home. I'm still me, real life is still here. I'm still mom. And so I'm doing that as well on the bike. But going back to the quote, just when negative thoughts are coming in, they're going out just as quickly now. And that's the shift from the beginning to where I am right now. Yeah.
Critical, important. And I'm glad that you brought that up too, because, no matter what's in front of you, no matter, and some of the folks I've shared that are following your journey and how much inspiration you're giving them, facing the things that are in front of their own lives, is because, regardless of what you're going through, life still moves. So I love that you brought that up, because even though you're in the middle of riding, you're like, what time's your dentist appointment at? What do you need to do? So that's the beauty of life, right? It just doesn't have that pause, it doesn't give us that, you decided to go do this other goal. Everything else is going to go on pause. That's just not how life works out. So that's a beautiful, example of that. So thanks for sharing. And yeah, I think that is a wrap here for day
7.
We will see you all mañana.
Yes.